Jesus appearing in his kingdom. Part 7. Why does God let enemies of the kingdom be so visible? Chapter 1. The kingdom is one of victory and the rule of Christ. But at times it can seem to be failing, and the enemies seem to be winning the battle. These verses show something of how and why God causes the enemies to be so evident in our life, and why he does this at the same time as he is establishing his kingdom. How long, God, will my enemy seem to be triumphing over me?
Psalms 13. How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart all the day? How long will my enemy be exalted over me? Psalms 74. God, how long will the adversary revile? Will the enemy despise your name forever? Why do you withdraw your hand, even your right hand? Destroy them from within your very midst.
Destroy, in the Hebrew, means to bring to a finish, complete, fulfill. Does this suggest that they have a job to fulfill? And they aren't removed till they have accomplished something in us? God appoints specific times to break the strengths of the enemy present within, so then it can seem to be prevailing.
Lamentations 1. The Lord has rejected all my strong men in my midst. He has called an appointed time against me, to crush as he chooses. The enemy has prevailed. See, Lord, for I am in distress. My spirit is greatly troubled. My heart is overturned within me.
Much well-meaning church teaching tries to wallpaper over our imperfections, so we can be a group who successfully appear Christ-like. But God is also wanting to bring them to the surface, these imperfections and proud strengths. Then he can deal with these thoughts and intentions of the heart in his way and in his appointed time.
Psalms 23. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies.
We sometimes feel overwhelmed by some trouble, but we need endurance till Jesus appears to rescue us from it.
Luke 21. You will be led captive among all the nations.
That is, captive to the desire of the old sinful nature. God knows exactly how much of the old self needs to be evident in our lives before it is time for Him to change things for the better. Jerusalem is the new spiritual creation emerging in us. But it has to face a time of being bruised and trampled. See link 12. You will be led captive into all the nations.
And Jerusalem will be trampled underfoot by the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled.
In a later season in life, we will learn to recognize Christ and see the true extent of our rescue.
At that time they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud, with power and great glory. But when these things begin to take place, straighten up and lift up your heads, because your redemption is near.
Redemption means rescue and deliverance, paid for by Christ's ransom. The beasts have an appointed time to overpower us, till we take possession of the kingdom and they are destroyed.
Daniel 7. The beast was destroyed and given to the burning fire. Their dominion was taken away. But an extension of life was granted to them for an appointed period of time. There was war with the holy ones, overpowering them until the Ancient of Days has come. And judgment is given to the holy ones. And the time arrived when they took possession of the kingdom. Revelation 11. The time came to reward your bondservants, the prophets, and the saints and those who fear your name, the small and the great, and to destroy those who destroy the earth. Revelation 20. The dragon must be released for a short time. Revelation 11. The beast that is coming up out of the abyss will make war with them and get the victory over them. Revelation 17. The beast that you saw is about to come up out of the abyss and go to destruction. Revelation 12. The devil has come down to you having great wrath, knowing that his time is short.
God leaves weeds among the fruitful plants of His kingdom till later, till it is the right time.
Matthew 13. Jesus presented another parable to them, saying, The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while his men were sleeping, his enemy came, and they sowed tares among the wheat. But when the wheat sprouted, the tares also appeared. His slaves said to him, Do you want us, then, to go and gather them up? No, allow both to grow together until the harvest.
See link 13. Tares sowed among the wheat. All this separation from God should diminish as we reach our latter days and gain more understanding.
Deuteronomy 4. The Lord has scattered you among the peoples. There you have served the work of man's hands. But from there you have sought the Lord your God, and you have found Him when you searched for Him with all your heart and with all your soul. When you are in distress and all these things have come upon you in your latter days, you return to the Lord your God and listen to His voice. For the Lord your God is a compassionate God. He does not fail you. He does not destroy you. Jeremiah 30. Behold the tempest of the Lord. Wrath has gone forth, a sweeping tempest. It bursts on the head of the wicked. The fierce anger of the Lord does not turn back until He has performed and until He has accomplished the intent of His heart. In our latter days we understand this.
The enemies within, the old self, the old man, can sometimes seem stronger than the new inner Christ-like self, especially in our early years. But But in the latter days of our life, the kingdom should show more sign of coming. Daniel 8, verse 23 to 25, seems to allude to this. The Lord's power is perfected in this weakness. The transgressing has to be allowed to run its course and do its work. See also 2 Corinthians 12, verse 7 to 9. Chapter 2. Why do enemies that we weren't aware of begin to seem so obvious? These hidden rulers, kings and princes, have to be disturbed and shaken and stirred up to bring them to the surface. Then we learn how the coming of the kingdom of Christ forcefully overpowers them. The kingdom in our life has been ruled by a prince other than Jesus.
Ephesians 2. You formerly walked according to the prince of the power of the air,
setting my mind on Christ's kingdom means pressing forcefully into it.
Matthew 11. The least in the kingdom are pressing forcefully into the realm of the heavenlies. These strong, eager souls are storming it by force.
The coming of the kingdom forcefully overpowers the beasts and kings that have been left peacefully undisturbed.
Luke 11. Jesus said to them, If I cast out demons by the finger of God, then the kingdom of God has come upon you. When a strong man, fully armed, guards his own house, his possessions are undisturbed.
Undisturbed means in peace or safe.
But when someone stronger than he attacks him and overpowers him, he takes away from him all his armour on which he had relied, and divides up his spoils. Isaiah 53. Jesus divides the booty with the strong. Zephaniah 1. The day of the Lord is near. I have punished the princes and the king's sons. I searched Jerusalem with lamps, and I have punished the men who are stagnant in spirit.
The phrase stagnant in spirit means settled on the dregs, like wine. See Jeremiah 48 next. Moab can be thought of as the old self that still remains.
Jeremiah 48. Moab has been at ease since early in life. He has also been undisturbed, like wine on its dregs, and he has not been emptied from vessel to vessel. Therefore he retains his flavour, and his aroma has not changed. Therefore, behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I send to him those who tip vessels, and they tip him over, and they empty his vessels and shatter his jars.
See also the story of the palace keeper. The Lord stirs up his offspring to overpower the offspring that needs destroying.
Zechariah 9. I have stirred up your sons, Zion, against your sons, Greece. And I have made you like a warrior's sword. 1 John 5. For whatever is born of God overcomes the world.
God doesn't drive out the enemies that trouble us all at once. He does it little by little as we grow stronger.
Deuteronomy 7. The Lord your God has cleared away these nations before you, little by little. You aren't able to put an end to them quickly. Otherwise, the wild beasts grow too numerous for you. But the Lord your God has delivered them before you and has disturbed them through intense trouble until they are destroyed.
We too are in the middle of this disturbing and stirring up, and the troubling that God is bringing in our circumstances. But only the old man, the kings, get destroyed.
He has delivered their kings into your hand, and you have made their name perish from under heaven. Man is not able to stand before you.
The old self is not able to keep standing against the growing new inner self.
Matthew 12. Now when the unclean spirit goes out of a man, it passes through waterless places seeking rest, and does not find it. Then it says, I will return to my house from which I came. And when it comes, it finds it empty, swept, and put in order.
Put in order also speaks of being made to look nice with ornaments.
Then it goes and takes along with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and they go in and live there. And the last state of that man becomes worse than the first.
This principle needn't only apply to being demon-possessed. It refers to uncleanness of spirit, which is common to all mankind. Christ's death took our guilt and condemnation, but we are continually being purified throughout our life.
Link 12. Captivity. You will be led captive. These verses speak of God purposely letting us work through the things of the old sinful nature we have been captive to. 1 Peter 4, verse 3. The time already past is sufficient for us to have carried out the desire of the nations. First Peter 1, verse 5. You are protected by the power of God through faith for a salvation ready to be revealed in the last time. In this you greatly rejoice, even though now for a little while, if necessary, you have been distressed by various trials. Each one of us is God's temple. He loves the holy part of us, and isn't always taking notice of those parts where the old nature remains. Revelation 11, verse 1. Then there was given to me a measuring rod, like a staff. And someone said, Get up and measure the temple of God, and the altar, and those who worship in it. Leave out the court which is outside the temple, and do not measure it. For it has been given to the nations, and they will tread underfoot the holy city for 42 months. Link 13. Tares sowed among the wheat. Matthew 13, verse 24. Jesus presented another parable to them, saying, The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while his men were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went away. But when the wheat sprouted and bore grain, then the tares also appeared. The slaves of the landowner came and said to him, Sir, did you not sow good seed in your field? How then does it have tares? And he said to them, An enemy has done this. The slaves said to him, Do you want us then to go and gather them up? But he said, No, for while you are gathering up the tares, you may uproot the wheat with them. Allow both to grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest I will say to the reapers, first gather up the tares, and bind them in bundles, to burn them up, but gather the wheat into my barn.
This was Jesus appearing in his kingdom. Part 7.